Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about off-road SUVs in recent years, the Ford Bronco, and answering the big question, should you actually buy the latest Bronco, especially from a mechanic's perspective? Now, the Bronco isn't just another SUV. It's Ford bringing back a legend, and they didn't just rely on nostalgia, they built something that's meant to compete head-to-head with serious off-roaders like the Jeep Wrangler. But as always, we're not here for hype. We're here to break it down properly, what works, what doesn't, and whether it's worth your hard-earned money. Let's start with the design, because honestly, that's what grabs most people first. The Bronco looks bold, boxy, and purpose-built. This isn't some soft crossover pretending to be rugged, it actually looks like it can climb a mountain. You've got those round headlights, wide stance, high ground clearance, and removable doors and roof. From a mechanic's perspective, the modular design is actually quite impressive. The doors come off easily, panels are replaceable, and a lot of exterior parts are designed with off-road damage in mind, meaning easier repairs and less cost if you scratch or dent something on the trail. Step inside, and the Bronco continues that rugged theme, but with a modern twist. You get a mix of durable materials and technology. Rubberized buttons, washable surfaces, and even drain plugs in some trims. Yes, you can literally hose out the interior after a muddy adventure. That's something most SUVs simply can't do. From a mechanical standpoint, this tells you Ford actually designed this vehicle for real-world off-roading, not just marketing. Now let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where things get interesting. The Bronco comes with two main engine options. There's a 2.3-liter turbocharged four-cylinder engine producing around 300 horsepower, and then there's a 2.7-liter twin-turbo V6 pushing closer to 330 horsepower. Both engines are strong performers, but they have very different personalities. The 2.3-liter is actually quite efficient for what it is, and it's available with a manual transmission, something enthusiasts absolutely love. From a mechanic's point of view, it's also the simpler engine of the two, which usually means lower long-term maintenance costs and fewer things that can go wrong. The 2.7-liter V6, on the other hand, offers more power and torque, especially useful for towing and serious off-road situations. But with twin turbos and a more complex setup, you're looking at potentially higher maintenance costs down the line. One thing I really like as a mechanic is how accessible the engine bay is. You can actually reach most components without struggling too much, which is not something you can say about many modern SUVs. That means easier servicing, quicker repairs, and lower labor costs. When it comes to transmission, you've got a 7-speed manual and a 10-speed automatic. The manual is a rare gem these days, and it even includes a crawler gear for extreme off-roading. That's something hardcore enthusiasts will appreciate. The automatic, however, is smoother for daily driving and better for most people, especially in city traffic. Now let's move on to the off-road capability, because this is where the Bronco really shines. This thing is built on a body-on-frame platform, which already gives it a strong foundation for rough terrain. Add to that advanced 4x4 systems, locking differentials, disconnecting sway bars, and Ford's GOAT modes, which stands for goes over any terrain, and you've got a machine that can handle sand, mud, rocks, and snow without breaking a sweat. From a mechanical reliability standpoint, these off-road features are solid. But they do add complexity. More electronics, more moving parts, and that means more potential points of failure if not properly maintained. Regular servicing becomes even more important if you plan to use the Bronco as intended. On-road performance is where things get a bit more balanced. The Bronco drives well for what it is, but let's be honest, it's not a luxury SUV. You will feel bumps, there's some wind noise, and handling isn't as sharp as a crossover. But that's the trade-off for serious off-road capability. From a mechanic's view, the suspension is designed for durability rather than comfort, and that's exactly what you want if you're going off the beaten path. Fuel economy is another factor to consider. The Bronco isn't particularly fuel efficient, especially with the larger engine and off-road tires. If you're planning to use it as a daily driver, fuel costs will add up. This is not the SUV you buy to save money on gas, it's the one you buy for capability and fun. Let's talk about reliability, because this is where many people have concerns. The latest Bronco is still relatively new, and while it has proven to be generally reliable, there have been some reported issues, especially with early models. Things like minor electrical glitches, roof panel problems, and occasional engine concerns have been noted. However, many of these issues have been addressed in newer models. From a mechanic's perspective, the Bronco is fairly solid, but like any modern vehicle, it depends heavily on proper maintenance. Regular oil changes, keeping an eye on turbo components, and maintaining the 4x4 system are key to long-term reliability. Maintenance costs are moderate to high, depending on how you use the vehicle. If you're doing serious off-roading, expect higher wear and tear on components like suspension, brakes, and tires. But the good news is that parts availability is strong, and Ford's service network is widespread, which helps keep repair costs manageable. Now let's discuss practicality. The Bronco is surprisingly usable as a daily vehicle. It has decent cargo space, comfortable seating, and modern tech like a large touchscreen, smartphone integration, and driver assistance features. However, rear seat space and cargo capacity are not class-leading, especially in the two-door version. Safety is another important factor. The Bronco comes with a range of safety features, including blind spot monitoring, lane keeping assist, and adaptive cruise control. Structurally, it's a tough vehicle, which adds an extra layer of confidence. So, should you buy the latest Bronco? Well, it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want a rugged, capable SUV that can handle serious off-road adventures, the Bronco is absolutely one of the best options out there. It's fun, it's customizable, and it delivers on its promises. From a mechanic's point of view, it's well built, relatively easy to work on, and designed with durability in mind. However, if your driving is mostly city-based, and you prioritize comfort, fuel efficiency, and low maintenance costs, then the Bronco might not be the best choice. There are better options for daily commuting. In simple terms, the Bronco is not for everyone, but for the right person, it's an excellent buy. It's a vehicle with character, capability, and a clear purpose. So before you make your decision, ask yourself this: do you actually need what the Bronco offers? Because if you do, you're going to love it. But if you don't, you might end up paying for features you'll never use. That's it for today's deep dive. If you enjoyed this mechanic-style honest review and want more real-world insights like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.